All right, so it's 8:45 in the morning. I'm on my way home. I didn't go home yesterday. I slept at someone's house because they were closer to the studio than my house was, and I was too tired to drive home. But it's been a long few days. Sunday night was long, turned into Monday, which was a long day. Tuesday was a long day. I didn't get out of the studio till 3 on Tuesday. Wednesday, which I didn't document, but I went, attempted to go Christmas shopping for my niece. She wants some horse club action doll type of deal. Well, not an action doll, but a horse club doll. And I thought I could find it at Toys R Us, but it wasn't there. So here's what happened, right? Tuesday, I leave the studio at 3 something in the morning. Get home at 3:30. I sleep until maybe 7:30. My body is somewhat used to getting up early. So I get up and I have to go to the studio, but I don't actually record anything. I just had to go back to pay back Miss Mira because their system only takes card after a certain dollar amount, and I didn't have cash the day that she gave me that red velvet and cream cheese muffin. It was so good, oh my goodness. So I went to the studio to pay her back. Luckily, just down the street from the studio, there's a Toys R Us, so I went there to look for the toy. They didn't have it. And then I looked up online, it said maybe Barnes & Noble would have it. Luckily, there was a Barnes & Noble down the street, so I went there, but they didn't have it. But I ended up buying a couple books for myself because there were a few things I had been wanting for a while, so I just went ahead and picked up, well, there was one book in particular that I wanted, Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. I read one chapter when I got my last book. When I got Becoming Beyonce, I read one chapter of his book, but I didn't want to spend all of that money in one sitting. So I went ahead and I got Black Privilege yesterday. That chapter was so good, I was like, man. And I had been hearing him talk about it on Breakfast Club, so I'm pretty sure there's some stories in there. I also wanted to get Tiffany Haddish's book, The Last Black Unicorn, but I didn't see it at Barnes & Noble, so I don't know, after I finish Charlemagne, I'll see about getting hers. But my next few buys, I really want them to be biographies and autobiographies of artists who have been very influential in music. Not just to me, but just music in the grand scheme of things. So those are my next buys. But along with Charlemagne the God, Charlemagne's book, Black Privilege, I got another book called Body Language. And I figure as an artist, that can help me because it's important to be able to read people, I think, while I'm performing on stage. I mean, as if there weren't enough things to take into consideration already when performing, as far as breathing and making sure that you're aware of your own facial expressions so you're not mean mugging the audience, or so you're not too happy during a sad song. And then, you know, monitoring your breathing, monitoring your movement, thinking about the next words, thinking about hitting the proper note ahead of time, like before you actually hit it, if you understand what I mean. It's basically envisioning yourself doing the right thing and then doing it, so you're thinking a few steps ahead constantly. So there's already that stuff to keep in mind, but now I'm going to train myself on body language and how to be able to further read people, because I think it's going to help me overall in my performance to be able to pick out those people who may not be as engaged in the show as I want, and then to be able to figure out how to get them engaged, how to get them excited, how to get them more pumped up about being at the show to see me perform, or being more pumped up and excited to see me do whatever it is I'm doing, right? So I got that book and I'm excited to read it. I didn't read any chapters, but it was the cheapest body language book there, so I just went ahead and got it. And what else did I do? I went to the store. I didn't have any food for breakfast, so I got me, and I haven't bought eggs from the store in forever because I just don't really eat it. It's my whole transition of maybe becoming vegan. Eating eggs was kind of weird for me for a moment, the psychology of it, you know, the whole baby chicken thing. But I got some eggs because I wanted an omelet, and I figured it's an easy thing to make, and I used to be really good at them, so made an omelet with sharp cheddar cheese, onions, spinach, garlic, and mushrooms, white mushrooms, and that was really good. and along with some hot lemon water. So that was good breakfast. And then I got myself a slice of carrot cake because I think I deserve it for working out so hard the previous day before. But I really wish I would have gotten some footage of my day yesterday. I mean, I got an Instagram video of me going to Barnes & Noble, and the one in Marietta by Cumberland is huge compared to the one that is closest to my house. But yeah, I'm just, oh, and then I had to go teach kickboxing 4:30 and 5:30 until 6:30, and then I had a session at 8 o'clock. That session went until midnight. I kept having some issues with my Pro Tools, and the same issue happened at Rich Productions, so I'm thinking it's maybe the way that I'm running the session. It messed up Pro Tools in a way. But basically the computer that I've been working on the past couple of days haven't been able to handle a large amount of stacks, which is really weird because my sessions, my personal sessions, are running just fine, but then when I'm recording other people, I do the same process and it just, for some reason, it crashes Pro Tools, and I don't know why, so I need to research that. It just kept saying something about bus path or no thread, main thread, address OXO. So I have to figure out what that means because it keeps corrupting the session, and I'm having to go back to session backup files to try to recover what I did, but that just doesn't really help. Makes it worse, you know. And I'm reporting to you live from Atlanta's traffic. My commute for this morning is, woo! Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I know that that turn was a little crazy. So yeah, I have to research what that means in Pro Tools so it will stop happening. Usually when that happens, I just figure that Pro Tools is running low on memory because I have so many things going on in the session. Sometimes sessions are running off of the hard drive, but the hard drives that I've been running it off of have had more than enough space of at least 400 gigs or more, so that shouldn't have been an issue. So I would drag the folder onto the desktop and run it from the computer's, you know, main RAM space, I guess, instead of limiting it to the speed of the drive. And don't go. Ah, you still went. Alright. I don't have one of those things for my car yet, so my camera can stay put. I'm working on it. But yeah, so I usually drag the folder onto the desktop to run off of the computer's main, I don't know, memory source, and that usually fixes it. But come to think of it, I've been having issues with running certain clients' sessions off of that hard drive anyway, as far as the studio that I normally work out of. The studio I worked out of last night with a client, I've never had that issue before, so I have to figure out what that means. If I remember to tell you, I will let you know. But yeah, I didn't finish that session till midnight. I got to my friend's house at no, we actually finished at 1 because we stayed talking for a little bit. I played with Pro Tools for a good 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And, yeah, it just wasn't happening. But we stayed till 1 talking, so I didn't get to my friend's house till 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock. I passed out on the couch. It's been rough. It's been very rough. I'm now heading back into the house. Now I have to rush for this last hour. It's probably about 9 o'clock, and I have to, what do I have to do? It's about 9 o'clock. I have an hour to eat, take a shower. I guess you can see where I'm walking. I have about an hour to eat, take a shower, make up my bed, pack my bags, because I don't want to come back home Tonight I'm driving out to Savannah. So, yeah. So today's schedule, just now getting home. I gotta eat breakfast, take a shower, pack my bags, make sure I have my food prepped for the day, and then go to this session from 11 to 2, and then I'm gonna come home and rest. And then I have to teach all 4 kickboxing classes tonight because nobody else wanted to help my coworker. I'm gonna be quiet because my roommate is sleeping. I don't want to be loud with my documentation. Look at that. Ugh. My room is so dirty. Yeah, I didn't even make my bed yesterday because I rushed out. But I'm teaching all 4 kickboxing classes because no one wanted to help out my coworker. But yeah, I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday. These are the books I got. Body Language and Charlemagne's book, Black Privilege. I'm excited. So I'm about to get my day started. After I teach these kickboxing classes, which is going to last from 4:30 until 8:30, I'm going to shower and then leave for Savannah. So that's where my next documentation will be. Well, let me try to get my image. Make sure y'all can see me. Yes, you can. Alright, so thank you for watching again. I'll keep you posted. I'm keeping this Lexi Live thing going. But until next time, I'm Lexi. Peace.